Hello there, folks. NerdyJohn here with another episode of The Nerd and the Huck. But unfortunately, the Huck was not able to join us today. So we have a very special guest in place for her this week. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, instead of the Huck, you get the Empress. Hello, guys. I am Empress K. I am the co-host of the No Name podcast on Still Connected, and yeah, I'm bad at intros. I'm
The
sorry.
former tipster goth mommy. There we go. We gotta get the buzzwords in so that
That
way people
is.
can continue watching.
Funny thing is like I started distancing myself with Tipster when he started the whole goth mommy thing. 'Cause I was like, nah, that is cringe. Fuck that. But because I was quiet about my distancing, it didn't work out so well. So I guess I gotta wear that now. So former goth mommy, little
Oh,
badge.
yeah.
Dishonor. Hopefully, we'll get rid of that dishonored badge in, like, 2024,
Yeah.
so let's get.
Well, if you're not talking about if you're not comfortable talking about mommies, would you be comfortable talking about mamas, specifically MamaMax? Ooh, look at that
That was a
segue.
beautiful segue. Yeah, let's talk about some mamas here, some, possible cult leaders, maybe.
Awesome. Oh my,
Okay,
well,
so, like.
that's the funny thing. He is basically running a cult, right? Because like, well, a cult leader, play or like any youth, like not youth pasture, but like those televangelists, where like they put themselves at the center, really, but the message comes second, but everyone's there for the message, and they kind of like start idealizing the figure. Because like whenever you listen to a Mama Max fan talk, they just talk about, oh, Mama Max, he's just like a great guy. He gets results, okay? He cares about victims. But like when you ask for like, well, what are the results? Well, just watch his videos, man. Have you not watched his
Well, I
videos?
have tried watching.
I'm a Patreon donor.
I have tried watching his videos, and, oh my god, I don't know how people can.
You see, children are victims in this world of globalized predation. We
Critical.
need to stop them at all. We need to stop them at all cost. Critical Joe Rogan, answer my messages.
PewDiePie, as a new parent, you should be the most pissed off about this. The most yeah.
Oh my god, that would totally be a message too. That's the
He
thing.
had that in his
That's totally a message he
video.
sends.
He was like, "Felix, as a new parent," and I'm like, "What the?"
Wait. No, are you
He
serious?
did!
Which video? Is that the
The
most recent one?
brainwashing one. So
Oh, I haven't watched that
so I
one.
watched it on Toxic's channel because I thought Toxic made, like, this video, and I was like, "What a weird editing, style," and then I
Yeah.
realized, no, he just ripped it from Mama Max, and I was like, "Well, I'd rather give the view and the watch hours to Toxic anyway."
Yeah. Oh yeah, well it's like let's get into that a bit. Like his editing style. He's clearly a failed film student, and I know this because I am one. No, but no, he wants to make like visual horror movies, right? Which I mean, that's fine if you want to do that. Me personally, I would love to see some new horror films out there, man. But
I
maybe just do that instead of the whole like grifting off of survivors thing.
I
To feel that's
I feel like
disgusting.
Mama Max would be a really good filmmaker for horror as well, but yeah, no, I agree. Like, this isn't the first time he's tried to, like, do the whole grift with victims and stuff, but this one just feels really disgusting because it's basically
Well, I mean,
sensationalizing their stories, as well as if they do decide to go to the police and the DA is like, "Yeah, we're gonna prosecute this bitch," it's giving the defense ammo to do character assassination on these victims because you are
mm,
sensationalizing and just trying to make this into this big grandiose show that it doesn't need to be. And as somebody who is a survivor of SA and of Grape, I
mhm.
would hate if somebody turned my story into like this sensationalized piece with like weird women in underwear eating crackers. This is from the brainwashing video again. And like all the
Oh my
glitchy
god.
effects and the very low voice. I can't do the low voice. Never mind.
Listen, okay. No. So when the sorry to interrupt. When the hashtag pick a side YouTube thing was going on, he actually addressed that criticism as voice directly. He's like, "Well, listen here. people, survivors find my voice comforting. No, yeah.
Not the survivor, that is, like, a comforting voice is,
Yeah.
like honestly, like, Jessica Bizel's voice was really comforting, and, like,
Mhm.
I watched her coverage of the recent stream that we're gonna be talking about as well, and she had some really good points on how to actually go about going to the police if you wanna go to the police,
Mhm.
because if you give the police too much, then because with the police, what they wanna do is they wanna convict. They wanna send this person to jail, and if
Right,
you're
yeah.
giving them a little bit too much, they're not gonna bring that to the DA or the prosecution, for here, it's the Crown Prosecution because I am Canadian. But, like, they wouldn't go to the DA because it's like, "Well, you've said this, 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 and this."
No, yeah, like every live stream that he does, okay? And he's hiding behind the victims by saying that they're the ones who want him to stream. Every live stream he does, every time he platforms Spencer, it hurts their chances every single time, right?
It absolutely
Because
does.
they're th- they're not talking about the stories. They're debating on the efficacy of this, that, and the other thing.
No, that is very true. Like, I remember, like, hearing from, like, because I have gone to the police twice with my own essay and my own grape, and with my essay, we did
Mhm,
actually get the guy prosecuted. Well, he pled guilty, but they
mhm.
were gonna try him as an adult, that's why he pled guilty. Um,
The point is, you went for the
yeah, we
proper
went through the
you went for the proper sources
Yeah,
and
like, I went
everything.
to the police, and then they were the ones to tell me that, like, until there is a verdict, don't go around trying to make a show out of this. Like, they don't care if you, like,
Oh, wait, 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 wait.
talk about it.
Don't make a show out of
Don't
it, you
make a
say?
show out of it.
So, like, would you call 3-hour podcasts, talking about this individual, would that be a show of it, would you say?
I feel like it would be, especially depending on how it's gone about, or how they go about
Yeah.
it, that those are the words I'm looking for.
So about Spencer. So I'm I think I've said some off-color stuff on my streams, but, for the sake of, an actual conversation here. Apparently he does know this individual because Spencer supposedly went to school with his little sister. And like that's how that's one of the reasons why she's staying with him. But like anybody worth their salt in the legal system will look at that and go, "Wait, so you're like the main investigator and you're having the supposed main witness live with you? That's not a conflict of interest whatsoever." Oh, what's this? You're trying to use this to like shoot her YouTube channel so that way she can make money online? That's not suspicious.
Again, that hurts the case with, what's his name, Candom?
And yeah, Candom, he's a half vampire, half werewolf, half angel. Thank you very much. Okay, he's a very important individual,
You can't have
apparently.
3 halves. Sorry, my math brain just
Wait,
went, "N wait, no."
well, he's some part angel, some part werewolf, some part vampire, and all of this.
Okay.
He's all three of those,
So,
apparently.
like, first off, like,
Like,
a
um,
a cult like, that wouldn't be taken serious at all. They'd be like, "Okay."
well, supposedly he has hundreds upon hundreds of members and victims in this cult. Even though, like, I
I've
mean,
never heard of this
like,
cult.
no, well, apparently it's all for online. So, like, are we going by like the Discord numbers here, or like, I'm sorry, Kick numbers? I probably used Kick like twice because a friend of mine used that for a little bit, and then he's like, "Oh wait, this is gay. Let's switch to Discord." um, but like, from what I understand of Kick, for the limit, like maybe you know
Oh, I
more
know a
of
lot
Kick.
about Kick, actually.
Okay, so like for my limited knowledge, you have to like actively search for people, similar to Discord.
Yeah.
So it's like so supposedly he would have, according to Spencer, he would have girls make new accounts on Kick and then funnel girls to whatever group chat they have or whatever.
So, From my understanding, I guess there are sort of, like, group chats on Kick now, but they're not, like, as sophisticated as, like, say something you'd see on, like, AOL back in the day, or,
Mhm.
like, a YouTube group chat example, or, like, a public Discord. But Kick was basically, like, the predecessor of Snapchat without Snapchat being all, like, or without the whole picture thing, um,
Gotcha,
and
okay.
stuff. Like, it's an anonymous messaging app that a lot of predators do actually use, so it's actually a really dangerous app, so I do get where they're coming from with that, but Camden would have to
Well, it's just
probably
it's
look on, like, other forms of social media, like, probably, like, Instagram or
yeah, like, I think it's
Discord or
weird
places that
that,
have
like
logs to, like.
yeah. Well, I think it's just weird that, like, supposedly he's, like, this, like, master manipulator through social media, right? But, like, like, people have searched, including Mudahar, by the way. And Mudahar can find you. He can find you if he wants. Okay, he found like people who were like trying to be off the grid during some like crypto scams, and like he's hardly found any sort of like information on this individual. Ela from the broadcast, she managed to find I think uh, a picture of him when he was when he talked to the police about something. I'm
If I
fuzzy on the
remember
details, but she
correctly, she found a mugshot of him because he got arrested for traffic violations in October of 2023, and if I remember correctly,
mm,
Max and the slimy man named after slimy animal,
mhm,
we're trying to
mhm.
say, like, "It's so hard to find him, we can't find him," and we have this girl from the other side of the world
Australia.
just, like, type his name in and go, "I found him." And then Leia ended up
Yeah,
finding, I guess, some sort of case surrounding all of that, because Leia used to be a paralegal and has the ability to, like, look into that, and then Colton,
mhm.
I guess.
Colin fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, well, I thought he was in that live stream with, MamaMax, but apparently not. Whoever that was
No, that was
sounded like Colton. I was like,
yeah, that was one of his fanboys. But I mean, yeah, we've been able to find stuff like that, but like legit, no social medias, no online footprint has really been found yet, which is weird because you think this individual would have a lot of like alt accounts and all that.
well, if we were to look at, like,
I mean, maybe.
sorry, you go.
Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
I was gonna say, like.
I was gonna say like maybe like if maybe if we just haven't looked hard enough, but like I just find it weird that we haven't even found like an inactive account from him.
Like, even if we were, like, to take a look at, like, say, like, the 8 passenger situation where, like, you can probably say that is more like a cult because they tried doing the whole connections thing and blah, 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 blah. You could find Ruby and Jody everywhere. Even if they, like,
Mhm.
were trying to hide and stuff, like, you could still find them. Like, the fact that you.
Well, it helped that they were like a multi-million sub channel,
That
you
is
know,
that is
prior to the whole
true.
cult situation.
That is true, but, like, there's been, like, other cults too, like, I did watch Illuminati for a little bit at one point, and, like, you could still find people that were, like, had these really weird cult and stuff, and you can still find, like, their social
Mm.
media, so but I feel like you have to be very popular as well to have a cult. Am I not
Well,
mistaken?
apparently this man is just so charming that he had teenage girls and supposedly boys believe that they were vampires and werewolves and that he was a vampire werewolf angel thing. like I'm not like I mean, maybe this you know what, you know, cancel me for this internet if you will, but like, you know, like I've heard stories from like former victims of cults, you know, and they talk about how like they made them feel welcomed and you know all that, they felt like a family, that kind of thing. But like eh, and you can disagree with me fully on this, Empress, but I feel like it takes a special individual to end up believing that there's some sort of supernatural creature. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's kinda just Darwinism talking right there.
No, that absolutely is, sorry, I was wanting to do, like, a quick little search up of, like what it takes to, like, indoctrinate people into a cult, but you're not wrong. You have to,
Mhm.
'cause I took psychology my first year of university. Did I fail it? Yes, but did I love the cult unit that we did? Absolutely. But they talked
Well,
about
yeah, because usually cult members target people who are, like, vulnerable, right? And
yes.
I have no doubt that the girls he was talking to online were vulnerable, right?
Oh, yeah, like, they
But,
usually
like
target, like, even if you're looking, like, religious mo or religion as well, like, they usually target, like, the
Mhm,
homeless, people that are addicted to drugs or alcohol, who have substance abuse issues, people who are just down on their luck. Like, they usually target those
mhm,
particular people to try to bring them into Christianity or Islam or whatever religion there is. So even like missionaries for the Mormon church, they go to underdeveloped countries to try to make them Mormon. So it's a thing that cults do. Is like they'll go after vulnerable people, and now teenage girls and boys tend to be a little bit more vulnerable. But at the same time, it takes a lot of like trust to actually have like a girl or a guy go out to a different city or wherever to actually meet somebody. At least it did when I was
mhm.
a teenager. I'm 30 now, so it's been a
Well,
bit.
yeah, and yeah, and, like, I don't think he has all the cult members live with him, but supposedly, apparently, there were, like, 12 of them living at one house, but, like, apparently, he also still lives with his mother, and the mother doesn't know about any of it, so it's just like,
That really
it
makes
it was kinda hard to follow.
that really makes no sense. Because 1, I don't know how people, like neighbors and stuff, wouldn't clock the fact that this guy is bringing home 12 teenage children to his
Mhm.
house and possibly pimping, like, if I remember correctly, I think he tried saying that they were being pimped out as well or something like that.
The vampire werewolf angel pimp, everyone.
The vampire pimp.
Uh,
The next
yeah, yeah,
Twilight
but he
series.
got nothing on a pimp named Slipback. Props to anyone who understands that.
But no, like, neighbors would clock that so fast, and I don't know how the
Mhm.
mother
Oh, especially if, like, they're the Karen neighbors, like, "Oh, their family's got 12 people. That's a code
and not
violation or something."
and not all of them are African American. Some of them be white. That seems
I
real
don't know.
weird.
Yeah. I don't know why folks in my neighborhood. Oh my.
We got some of different.
Um,
Oh, that no, that'd be nope, nope. We're not going there. That's cancelable
let's
right there.
let's pause there.
We're
Let's
pausing
pause
that.
that right there.
My Alberta's about to come out.
But
No, but like that would have been clocked so fast. The police would have been watching that so fast because they look out for stuff
Mm,
like that because of possible sex trafficking. That's one thing that they look for is like, are these people like, are people just like in and out? And like, are these kids going to school because they're supposed to be going to school? I
mm,
don't know about the US, but in Canada, you have to go to school until you're 16. Then you can drop out.
mm.
I don't know if that's the same in the
Uh,
States.
yeah. I think it varies by state, honestly.
That makes sense.
But like also too, it's just like don't I like let me be clear. I want to believe the victims.
As do
But,
I.
like, Max just makes their story so hard to understand and convoluted because, like, they complain about how people, don't understand the story, right? But they won't cohesively tell the story. And, like, Empress, okay, I know, like, you personally wouldn't click on it, but, like, let's say your average viewer on YouTube, right?
Okay.
They see a 2, maybe 3-hour video and it talks about a supposed vampire cult leader. Would you not think some people would click on that? It would pique their curiosity just a little
It would
bit.
definitely pique curiosity, and if I was to click on something like that, and then I'd probably lose interest very quickly.
But like, point is, I think the average viewer on YouTube would be interested in that. You wouldn't have to like try to start fake drama between you and another YouTuber to try and like get attention on your story. Because, and this is true, like generally, this is true the majority of the time. Like, you know, the whole saying, there's no such thing as bad publicity, that type of thing,
Yeah.
right? Except when you're trying to do a serious story. If you're just trying to be a scumbag on the internet, like Logan Paul, what's his name, Jack
Oh,
Dobry,
I hate that guy.
whatever. Um, yeah. Point is, like, obviously, like, you know, people are talking about you. That's a good thing. You know, you're an influencer. But if you're trying to do a serious investigation where you supposedly care about victims, why are you screwing it up despite at on such a level by talking about how like no one talks about victims because they're too worried about Sniper Wolf. Charlie, why won't you answer my DMs?
Oh, no, people do care about victims. People also know how the law works and how
No, yeah.
ruthless defense lawyers can be, and know that these particular situations, you need to handle it with a specific delicacy.
Mhm. And as much as the people rag on Colton, what was it? The first live stream that Mama Max did, Colton asked him straight up. So like, are the police involved? He goes, Mama Max actually went, no, police have never helped me before. Why would they now? Like, I'm paraphrasing a bit there. But like, it wasn't until Colton asked that question and everyone started criticizing him for it that he started getting the police involved in this case. Now it's suddenly, oh yeah, we're talking to lawyers, we've talked to the police, and we're trying to get the evidence, but they just won't listen to us.
No lawyer would be saying, "Yes, make all of these live streams, make super
Yes.
sensational videos with the worst." Well, I don't wanna say worst editing, but, like, that particular editing with this particular subject matter does not mix
Yeah.
at
It
all.
doesn't. And
With cinematic,
and
scenes
also,
as well.
yeah, and also too, it, he's saying, well, the victims want me to stream. Well, you need to tell the victims that it's better for them if you just like bunker down, work on the video, tell your editor to like stop doing what he's doing, help you with the video, that kind of thing,
Yeah, because like, the editor
right?
as well isn't doing any favors as well, especially the fact that the editor is going around also falsely or, like, throwing the words PD I wanna say PDF file so badly, like pedophile and rapist and groomer and lolicon lover,
Mhm,
free and nilly without any sort of evidence whatsoever. And I find it very funny
mhm,
that when things come up about Mama Max, he's like, "No, I want proof that Mama Max did this." But he has no problem just spewing out garbage about anybody else that is
well,
life
yeah,
ruining.
it gets him attention, that's why he does it.
I know. And
Um,
that's why I
but,
didn't say his name at all. So
yeah, yeah. Oh, he'll find this.
I hope
Um,
so. I
that's your can of worms, not mine. Um, but like, also too, I like when he like throws the blanket statement like victims. Does he mean Spencer? Is Spencer like begging and pleading for him to stream?
I don't
That's what I'm
so, like,
wondering.
I watched a little bit of, like, Spencer's mannerisms and stuff. It didn't seem like she wanted to be there at all. At one point, there was a clip, and it looked like she got really, like, pissed at Mama Max for answering this a certain question. I forget what question it was, but, like,
Hmm.
she's sitting there, like, there off to the side, and she just doesn't look like she wants to be there at all. So, it feels like Mama Max is just like, "You know you want me to stream, right? You know you want this. Like, come on, like, let's stream.
Mhm.
Like, just be there. Like,
Yeah,
I
and
I know that
he
you know that
always
you want
he
this."
yeah. Well, like, also too, like he virtue signals about how like his channel never gets monetized. Well, I know you stream on your channel. Are you? I question. Are you monetized at all, Empress?
No, I am not, but I am monetized on
Okay.
Twitch, but that's completely different.
Well, on YouTube, you can get a stream like demonetized, and you can still keep all the revenue that you keep from that stream. So like this is I don't get this usually. But like let's say someone donates to me $200, right? And that stream gets demonetized. I still get the $200 from that
Oh,
stream.
nice.
Unless my whole channel gets demonetized, I keep all of it, which Max's channel is not demonetized because he still gets super chats. I think he just found an easier way to make money because supposedly his Patreon numbers have been going down.
Hmm.
Um, and like I want to talk about this real
Let's
quick,
go.
and this is what
Let's
irks
do
me.
this.
Okay, so he says that like no one ever wants to help him out. No one ever wants to talk about the stories that he's doing. You know what happens? What happened when Muda looked at some of the evidence, the supposed evidence that he had, right? Which Muda, by the way, would later say on a Nicholas Diorio stream that there wasn't really much there. You know what he had Muda do?
What do you want me to do?
He had Muda sign an NDA.
What?
He made Muda sign an NDA to not talk about it.
I'm sorry. So he wants people like Critical, PewDiePie, the H3 podcast. I think at one point he was trying to get
Joe Rogan.
Jeff Joe Rogan, which is a little bit different, but okay. You do you, boo. Whatever. All
Oh,
right.
apologies about that. Something came up. Luckily, it wasn't anything serious. Um, the point I was on was talking about how he made Muda sign an NDA when he showed him the evidence. Now, I understand that there's probably some stuff you want to keep private, you know? Maybe it's like you're developing things, but like, I'm sorry, wasn't his big problem that no one wanted to talk about this? No one wanted to help him
Yeah,
out.
that makes no sense to me. So like Mudahar, who was like, yeah, let me help and
Muda
stuff.
said he
And
was going to
he
do a video.
yeah, so like Mudahar has about 3.4 million subs. He's gotten
It,
results in the
yeah,
past.
actual results. His biggest one is the Club Penguin fiasco that
Yeah,
he did
so
with
like
Cavos.
so he's proven to like actually get stuff done. But
Hmm.
no, it's I need you to send me or I need you to sign an NDA. Please make that make sense for me. You have somebody with a big enough following that wants to help you out, that wants to make a video.
Hmm.
But no, make it
And I don't know if I said this in the last recording, but Muda would later show up on a Nick stream, and not only did he say that he was, pretty much ready to burn the bridge with MamaMax, but he also said that the evidence that he did see wasn't really all that substantial.
That's honestly not a surprise. The fact that they can't seem to get a cohesive story out there, the fact that
Mhm.
they're making big, grandiose dreams, trying to
And Spencer is
tell.
showing up on different places talking about what's going on. It's like it's I feel like you're just hurting everything right now. You're hurting what little chance you have doing this.
Like, I get wanting to talk about it because it
Mhm.
does help with the process of healing from a trauma. Talking about it does that. You're better off doing that with a therapist. And at
Mhm.
the same time, like I've said, you don't want to like say everything that's like happened or just tell everybody like what's going on, what you have, all that stuff to the public because even though it's not going to hurt your case, it's giving the defense a fighting chance to go, no, this is what happened.
Mhm.
Stuff. Like, well, Jessica's even said that too. It's like you don't want to show your whole hand to. It's like poker. You don't want to show your
Yeah.
hand to your opponent. And the same with like the prosecution. They don't want to show their hand to the defense when they don't need to. Because then the defense can
Mhm.
also go like, well, I don't like this piece of evidence because it came from XYZ. Like, the only reason why EDP hasn't been officially caught is because nobody knows how to collect the evidence properly to
No, yeah.
an actual conviction. And yeah,
To arrest that dude. And they didn't get the police involved in the first video whatsoever, and it ruined any chance going forward.
it really did. And I think that's why YouTube's now like, if you're going to do this, you need to have the police involved.
Hmm.
You can't just willy-nilly go like, "Hi, I'm a hunter, and we're gonna go look for the next cupcake bandit," or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Max is just so frustrating because when you give him proper points, like instead of like engaging with it, he just goes, "Oh, so you don't care about victims." That's what he did with Tommy, an actual victim of SA. And he's like, "Oh, you don't care about victims, Tommy. You don't." And then like as soon as Max released his by the way, the video that was supposed to be about TikTok predator, 15 minutes of it were dedicated to like crapping on Tommy for daring to disagree with him. And I think Max was in over his head. I think he thought that he had more clout capital than what he actually does have. Because like I think this would like there would still be criticism even if he didn't try to like shove Charlie in it. But like him doing that not only made his detractors who were who already didn't like him, not like the direction that this was going, but like he's losing the majority of his fan base. I mean, his Reddit said, yeah, so like this subreddit's no longer going to be associated with MamaMax. We're going to shut this down. And like the Reddit's supposed to be like, where the hardcore fans go.
Yeah.
So it's like he's losing everyone. And the people who are still around him, like basically giving him an ego boost, are only around him because of his sub count. Because there's a stark difference. And I know you said you didn't really watch much of the Xylee call, but there is a stark difference when Muda's in the call to when Xylee is in the call.
Can I
Because
make a guess of, like, what happened?
every
I'm
one of
gonna
them was dead silent when Muda was in there. Because Muda's a 3 million sub channel, and to them,
Yeah.
more numbers equals good. That's all they know. That's all they know because, and the one time that they did talk was to like, "Oh my God, Muda, you're the best thing besides MamaMax. You're like the best thing."
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and then as soon as Xylee's in the call, and by the way, there's like 4 or 5 people in this call, all of them MamaMax fans, and they're like, "Xylee, you don't know what you're talking about. He helps victims." And all Xylee really does, and this is like not a dig at her. She obviously like she goes in at him criticizing him, and then she reiterates Muda's points, and they try to go at her with Muda's points, but it's like you didn't say anything when he was in the call.
They, it's kind of funny because Xylee has been pretty open about being, like, a victim of, like, DV and stuff, which is different from SA and all that fun stuff.
Mhm,
But she would be, like, the one person that would understand what these girls are going through, and boys, I guess.
mhm.
And I find it really funny that they tried to body Xylee, and, like, Xylee can take on 5 people at once.
Oh
Now that
yeah,
woman,
she welcomes
I
a
love her.
challenge.
I respect the fuck out of her, but she also scares the fuck out of me. She reminds me
Mhm.
too much of my
And
mom.
no, and what's funny is like Max knows that she wants to mainly talk to him, but he walks away. He walks away like the first like 3 minutes that she's in the call.
Well, yeah, because he doesn't wanna give her the time of day because she doesn't have the clout capital, as we like to say, to apparently get this out big when Xylee
Mhm.
has probably, like, a lot no, I'm not gonna say more connection well, probably more connections than MamaMax now, but she's got connections to some of, like, the bigger creators, like, say, Keemstar,
Yeah.
Mutahar, well, I don't think Drew would touch this with a 10-foot pole or 10-meter pole.
But
He's
no,
British, but yeah.
all they care about are the numbers. That's why he's going after people like Joe Rogan, Anthony Fantano. Did you know that, by the way? And he wants Anthony Fantano to like look at
Oh my god.
the mixtape he did for like for 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 this.
It's it's like asking, "Hey, Ollie London, do you wanna take a look at
Oh my
this?"
God, Ollie London, I know you're a political guy with the worst takes ever, but I really need your opinion on this pedo ring. And he's
He's
just like,
going
are they
after
Democrats?
Are they
But no.
K-pop fans? If they're K-pop fans, I'm not touching that again.
But like Max he's so insufferable because you can't have an actual engaging conversation with you because like he doesn't go full on like Muda, you don't care about victims, right? But like he tries to insinuate like Muda, I'm only doing these live streams because the victims want me to. So like obviously he's trying to correlate, well Muda, if you don't want me to live stream, you don't care about the victim. He's not saying it. He's saying, oh, let me rephrase that. He's saying it without saying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's trying to play both sides, going like, "Well, I didn't actually say that,
Hmm.
but, like,
But like enough
actions are
insinuation is
actions."
there.
Yeah, the insinuation's there.
Hmm.
It's
And
like
like
the whole
and honestly, I think Max is so ego driven, so like, cause like even like Muda admits that like he's pretty content brained when it comes to this stuff. Like he I think his own ego is getting in the way. He's viewing himself more as like a messiah figure than like someone who can make mistakes. Cause like any criticism he gets, he's like, "Well, Muda, you should have told me this months ago," and and Muda's response is, "I did, with Nux."
and then he's all like, "Oh, well, you don't care about victims, or you just don't want me to live stream,"
Mhm. Which yeah, you
which
probably shouldn't be live streaming if your main focus is to like make a video to like do this and to like talk about the situation. Just
especially videos and live streams that put
mhm.
on the show, and I remember somebody in, like, the call saying, well or it might have been the editor, "He's a filmmaker, he likes fiction." It's like, you don't wanna be fictionalizing stories like this.
No, yeah,
'Cause then
I think Beavers was talking about this on one of Peepaw's live streams. But he'll edit text messages with alleged predators to make it more spicy.
oh, so there's evidence out the window right there, that's tampering with evidence. I think that's
Mhm.
actually a felony. Is that not a
Yeah.
felony?
Yeah, he'll like manipulate the screenshots to like get to the spicy conversations faster. If I'm remembering what Beaver said correctly. But like
It's also
y-
defamation as well,
Mhm.
I think. Don't quote me on that, please, I'm not a lawyer.
But yeah, it's Max is too focused on sensationalizing everything. That's
Yes.
why like whenever someone brings up like because I think he said this even like his first couple of live streams doing this. He was like, well, you're talking like when people were criticizing him about like bringing Charlie into it and everything. He's like, well, you're talking about it now, aren't you? Like, dude.
It's like they're talking about it for not the reasons you want it to be talked about.
Yeah,
Kinda
you
like
want
they're
this to.
clowning on you. They're going,
Mhm.
"Do, do, 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 do," with, like, you with clown music on and little clown car.
No, yeah,
That's
and like to be fair, this is probably because one, I've watched like Nick's coverage of it, and like obviously been watching Max's streams to like talk about the situation. But like I like a lot of my recommended has been people who I've never seen, by the way, making videos clowning on him. There's a whole genre of YouTube sprouting up now, making videos clowning on this dude, and it's consistently channels getting 10K, 20K views. Max is done for. If he does any future investigations, no one's going to believe a word of it.
They will not, no, and that sucks for victims who do
Mhm,
put their trust in MamaMax to do the right thing, to bring this to the police or to get their story out there, because it's also the messenger that
mhm,
helps as well. Because I remember the Craig Beckett thing, not a lot of people believed, or were kinda questioning it because of who it came from. And it took myself getting the confession out of the girlfriend of like, "No, he actually did get news from this girl." And then later on, Tipster going in and, like, confirming that these messages are in fact real days
mhm.
later after that, because Twitter
Oh
takes
yeah,
a little bit to do
because what
that.
he like he went through the source of it, if I remember correctly. Like they downloaded the data and
Uh,
he actually went through it.
yeah, so he downloaded his data, they downloaded her data, and then because every Twitter account has, like, their own little, like, numeric identification, they were
Yeah,
able to
yeah,
match up
but
stuff from him, from his
yeah,
DMs to, like, yeah.
yeah, and also too, it's victims shouldn't be going to YouTubers in the first place. You need to go to the cops, the
Like, the
police, the
like,
popo.
I get not going to the cops because it can be re-traumatizing, but at the same time, if your end goal is to go to the cops, you do not
Mhm.
wanna go to social media. I
No,
get that,
yeah,
yes,
like
it could be very cathartic to get it out there. Trust me,
mhm,
I know, I've been there. But at the same time, if you're wanting to go to the cops, you don't wanna make the big show of it because that's how the defense will character assassinate you because trials
mhm,
are just as traumatizing as going to the police. Like, my suggestion is exhaust every avenue you have, try to deal with this legally to get the justice.
mhm.
And if you're not getting the justice out there and you have this evidence, then yeah, bring it to social media. Bring this guy to justice and have him they people that do the heinous acts of like rape, sexual assault,
Mhm.
domestic violence, all that fun stuff, they deserve to be brought to justice one way or
But not by
another, whether it be
YouTubers.
not by YouTubers, no. And like I said, like if you've exhausted everything, I would say don't even go to a YouTuber to tell your story. Tell your story yourself. You will feel so much better if you did it yourself and not going through a YouTuber. If you're going through a YouTuber, people will then think you just want clout.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because like there are there are too many situations where that's been the case. Slazo, quite like
Mhm.
I'm sorry. There's one too many for my case to be like yes, let's 100% believe everyone.
And I would love to believe everybody. And like there were people that like I see where it's like, this is very plausible, but I can't take it for word value because I don't know, like, there isn't really physical proof
Mhm.
and stuff, and
No,
it
because a
which
lot of it
really
comes down to
sucks.
he said she said. It's because they don't do kits or anything like that. Because you're supposed to go to because you're supposed to go to police for kits and all that stuff, right? Or like you're supposed to like there's like if like I believe with the Jonathan Majors, there are text messages that kind of like showed what was going on there. But like
Yes,
you get
so
what I mean, right? You need to have some sort of evidence other than just saying this person did X, Y, and Z to me.
like, yeah, like, the big ones are getting the kits, so you can
Mhm.
get, DNA evidence and stuff, unless you have, like, other proof and stuff of that, because like, a
Mhm.
kit alone isn't gonna help you.
For me, it like at least going through that process like legitimizes it for more, at least for me anyway, right?
Well,
Because
I
like
guess also too that, like, that is also almost as traumatizing again, like, just as traumatizing, because like, how they do
Mhm.
it is they stick a metal thing into you, they crank that metal thing open, and then they swab everything, and that metal thing fucking hurt okay, maybe it
I
hurts
would
for
imagine.
me, But it's very
Um,
uncomfortable. It hurts for me, but,
but
like
but you get what I'm saying at the very least, you
yeah,
know? And, like, you know, if, like, if I can argue,
go for it.
what would you argue is more traumatizing? Going to the police, having a one-to-one conversation, or would it be doing it to it longer where potentially thousands, if not millions of people could see it, and then millions of people can, like, argue about whether or not your essay is valid or not. You can, you know, start getting, like, harassment online, you know?
As
Like,
somebody who's actually been through having their, essay and grade questioned and speculated on by people online, it would definitely be the other option of doing this on, like, a platform and stuff. Like, I get it, like, going to the police is very scary, but the one-on-one
mhm,
is not as bad. 9 times out of 10, they will get you a female officer to talk to or a male officer, whoever you feel more comfortable with
right.
to talk to about this. For me, I got the first time around, I had a male officer because it was it I went to the resource officer at our school. He was a male, but he did a good job. They had a female in the room with me. They also had her question me as well. They they ask a lot of questions, and they ask a
Mhm.
lot of questions just to
Well,
make sure
they
that,
I
like, they
imagine they
get the
have to.
information. Oh, yeah, and they'll ask the same question again, but in a different way, just to, like, try to
To
get
see
the
if your
picture.
story changes, right?
Yeah, because like, sometimes a story will change a little bit. That's how memory works, unfortunately. But
Mhm,
if it's pretty consistent, then you're good to go. But if you're having, like, 3-hour streams and stuff, like, multiple 3-hour streams being viewed by other people, they could go in and then they can nitpick, and
oh, no,
you can
yeah,
know
I
that,
would
like, this is
imagine
true,
there's probably
but
someone out there, like, combing through all of Spencer's and the other victims who have talked statements to see if the story is consistent between all these live streams that they're doing right now. It
probably
wouldn't surprise me.
paralegals. Probably paralegals who will probably be,
No, yeah, like Xylee said, you know
representing.
his lawyers, if you take him to court, are gonna, like, pull all this up, right?
They will ask for discovery, they will pull this up. That's something that
Mhm.
I've been saying, where it's like, "You cannot sensationalize this. If you do, it's not gonna hold up in court,
And
you're
I think
not gonna
Max
get the
knows that
conviction."
to some degree, because I don't know if you saw or not, but he's been taking archives down of his most
I
recent
wanted to
stream.
talk about that because it's like, I think he
Abusing
said at one
copyright,
point
kind of interesting.
I know, huh, that's, huh, pretty yeah, interesting, like,
Yeah.
why would you what do you have to hide, Max?
Well,
That's
supposedly, one of the victims' name was revealed, but the only reason why the name was revealed was because you had the victims like, the victim had their full name as their Discord name.
that's the only way I've ever done that is because 'cause I've been in school discords or, like, discords for university, and they're like, "You have to have your real name," and I'm like, "Ah, okay."
Mhm,
But any other Discord that I have, even ones that are, like, attached to, like, my IRL jobs or, like, organizations that I am part of for, like, games and game devs and stuff, it's
mhm,
not my actual full name, so it's like, I don't I've had stalkers before. I don't like people knowing too much about me. It's not a fun time.
mhm.
And, like, I find it probably an honest mistake on that person's part, but Max also has the ability to go like, "Hey, you should probably change that because 'cause we're gonna go live. I don't think you want people
Well,
looking
also
you up.
too, appar
Let me
he was
protect
trying to
myself."
argue that, like, first and last name aren't, like, personal information, so therefore it's not a dox.
I have a fun statement for that. So, I had to do sensitive training for, information.
Mhm,
'Cause I got a part-time job working at a store in Canada that deals with cell phone plans,
mhm.
and you get a lot of sensitive information. Can you wanna guess what one piece of sensitive information is?
Would it be this person's name? Would that be it?
Full Yeah, full name, address, phone number, credit cards, billing
Mhm.
information, that all counts as sensitive information. And I'm of the belief that if you're trying to if somebody put my real name to, like, my persona as Empress K, I would consider that as doxing because I keep those very separate for a very good reason.
Uh-huh.
Partly because I don't want people to try to find me because 'cause I'm kinda paranoid about that, but also I kinda wanna keep 2 things separate. Like, I wanna keep my IRL separate from my online life, and I
Right.
think I have the right as a creator to do that.
Mhm. And Max, like I said, Max has just been frustrating throughout this entire thing.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what? Big ups for Tommy because Tommy's been saying this since day one, baby, and no one's believed him other than his community. All right, big ups for the man.
I guess well, I am part of his community, so I was be like, "I believed him." I was like, "Wait, I am in his community though, so
Right, right.
I belong in that." No,
Well,
like,
you know, I feel like there was a lot of people who in the commentary in this space of commentary, who saw hashtag pick a side and went, "That's a yikes for me, dog," to quote hipster real quick, right? But it was really Tommy who was pushing the fact because everyone would say, "Oh, well, like I think Max is in the his heart's in the right place." A lot of people would say stuff like that, right? But then Tommy was really the only one saying, "This is a grift. He's doing nothing but grifting. He doesn't care."
definitely a grift. It was definitely a grift.
Mhm,
Like, I would probably consider it not a grift if he wasn't doing the shit that he's doing with, like, Spencer and the other victims. It's like
mhm.
another thing though that I've noticed too, is like they don't wanna go to the police until they have every victim, but you're not gonna have every victim. Crosby has
Yeah.
probably quite a few more than what has actually come out,
Mhm.
and they were
You
still able to go to court with I think was it 14?
Yeah, what was the, Mormon cult? It was the Church of Latter-day Saints. It was only
Yeah,
a
or
couple of women it was only a couple of women at first who, talked about their stories. But, as
oh, it
the
wasn't the
first
Latter-day Saints, it was the Fundamentalists.
the fundamental
Or
well,
wait,
yeah, it
no,
was it
Latter-day
was
Saints is right too, never mind.
yeah, well, it was
Mormon
a
Church in general
Mormon
is just
well, it was a Mormon cult, right? And it was only a few girls who came out at first. But, like,
Mhm,
as the first ones told their story, then more told their story, and, it became a domino effect, right? So, like, if you want more people to talk, guess what, Max? You should probably do your video first, and guess what? More so alleged victims of this dude will see your video on him, see that like other girls had similar interactions with him, and then boom, it's that
ex
simple, dude. Why
exactly,
won't
and
you do it? If you
if
truly
you're
care,
gonna
why
do
won't
your
you do this?
exactly, and if you're gonna do your video, don't make it super glitchy or
Mhm.
super cinematic or sensational seems to be my favorite word of the day. Um, super
Sensational.
sensational. No, like, you don't wanna make it a huge show. You just wanna present the facts and then go on with it.
Mhm.
Don't have cinematic breaks of a girl crawling on the floor getting a saltine because that was apparently his fetish, I think?
No, no. Well, the video that started the whole hashtag pick a side thing because that video got taken down, right? It wasn't because of any like the investigation stuff he was doing. It was because he showed nudity in the video. So, Max, just tell a
Yeah.
story from A to B. Just do that, man.
And if you really wanna be a filmmaker, just be a filmmaker and don't do documentaries.
Mhm. Well, I think we've exhausted all we can talk about today with this
I don't even
Empress.
know how long we've gone. It feels like a bit.
Well, yeah, probably a good chunk of time. Empress, where can the folks at home find you?
So you can find me on YouTube at, Empress K, that is Kae, VT, and then you can find those are my handles for Twitch as well as Twitter. I'm starting to bring my TikTok back up, but it's also the same one. So, yeah, just everywhere at Empress K VT because I do the VTuber thing as well. So,
Mhm.
yeah. And you can also find me on VGen if you want pretty arts and stuff because apparently I'm pretty good at art.
Well, if you want to subscribe to my channel, go to nerdyjohn.to2. Also follow me on Twitter with the same handle. Oh, actually, not the same handle. It is TO2John on Twitter. And heck, if you're new to the Still Connected channel, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for all notifications, because you're not only getting the Nerd and the Huck, you're getting other shows like the No Name Podcast, which Empress is a co-host of. You're getting the Lol Gals, you're getting Naggers, a whole bunch of other shows, and you're getting it all here. All right. And with that out of the way, thank you all. This is goodbye.